whatnot. And then I rescinded my driver's license too. But here's the thing. You got to make sure that your car, public and private, don't mix. Okay. So if you're going to roll around in a private conveyance, you need to make sure that your vehicle is not registered in any form or capacity, and that you've transferred the title over into the trust. And there's a video on YouTube, on Floyd's channel, where he talks about the procedure to do that here in the state of Texas. It might be a little bit different in your state. So, but the principle is the same, right? So once you watch that video, you can start trying to figure out how to make it work in your state. He transferred the title from a blue title to a gold title. And on the gold title, it says where the mileage would be, it says exempt. So when they pull him over, his property's not registered in their system at all, right? So they can't tow private property without violating the schedule fee.
He's not in their system because he didn't register, and he got private plates.
No, he unregistered. He transferred the title from the public conveyance into the private.
So it doesn't matter. Does it matter to get this MCO, MSO, the manufacturer certificate of origin? Doesn't matter?
Yes and no. It depends.
It wouldn't hurt, in my opinion. And if you can get it, then absolutely get it, right? Because the more how do I say this? The better you can perfect the title, the better the argument you're going to be if you ever find you're in a situation where you're having to defend yourself or your private property. Right?
But I thought you didn't want to own anything. So if you have the MCO, don't you own it?
Own it? No, you don't own any. You got to get that word out of your.
So your trust owns it.
Yes, right. We don't want to own anything because that means we're reliable, and we don't want liability inside of my trust.
Okay, then if your trust owns it, is your trust liable?
Yes,
it can
the trust
be.
Is.
Yes, the estate is liable.
Listen, the trust isn't you.
Yes.
You may be the trustee of the trust, but if you write the trust indenture correctly with a hold harmless agreement, you, the man or woman, can't be touched.
Right. All right, guys.
Only the estate.
I got to run for about an hour, but I'll be back and I'll holler at y'all if y'all still on. All right.
Be safe, Jesse.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
That'll be good.
I'm gonna jump off here too. I got a live I've got to do in 30 minutes.
Well, I would like a quick thing on ecclesiastical deed poll. I've heard of this term many times, and I try to look it up too, but I don't really know if it's a real thing or not.
What? Jesse can confirm that, but it is.
Ecclesiastical deed poll.
Ecclesiastical stuff, there is truth to that. Look, go research Lady Justice. And go into court next time you're in court, ask the judge, is this a court that recognizes Lady Justice? They're going to say, yeah. But who is Lady Justice? It's the god Justitia.
Mm-hmm.
They're taking you into a religious temple. That's why I laugh at all of these people out there that talk about the separation of church and state. The government is a religious organization. The question is which religion?
Mm-hmm. So, well, the courts exercise some religion, but where's the proof that the rest of government exercises religion?
Have you seen the feet of the Statue of Liberty?
The Statue of Liberty is one example. That's Lucifer.
She's bound by chains.
Go look at everything that has been designed in D.C. All the religious overtones.
Well, yeah, but I mean...
Go look at the Declaration of Independence. All men are created equally, given rights by the Creator. The Creator is a generic term. The question is which Creator do you believe in?
You mean the original Creator versus which Creator? versus Lucifer, or versus
Why do you
man-made
think
creation?
no? As in, which God do you believe is the creator?
Which God are you talking about? There's God, and what's the other God?
Well, according to the Masons, Lucifer.
That is not true, man. I'm telling you, as a Mason, that is not true. I'm so
You
tired of
can
hearing that.
say
It's not true.
you can say it's not true, and but there are certain sects of Masons that hold Lucifer higher than Jesus.
The first thing when we enter in is, if you do not believe in a deity in general, you cannot become a Mason.
Correct.
And it's
Correct.
who you put your faith in is God. It is always God.
I
It's
guess
not
Bohemian
Lucifer.
Grove
It's
just
not
means
Buddha.
nothing.
I didn't hear what you said.
I said I guess Bohemian Grove is just irrelevant, and how Satan is like saturated the entertainment industry. It's like they shove it in your face. Like it's obvious that they believe that Satan is definitely real to them. So
Now, me and Shane, knowing that he's a Mason, I could have some interesting conversations with you.
I'll
Okay.
speak of what I know, but
Well,
I've went several paths.
yeah,
The Scottish Rite, the York Rite. I've went several paths, but again,
yeah.
to speak on that, at no point was that ever through all 30. Well, let's put it this way: through multiple degrees, that was never anything.
what's his name? One of the more famous guys. God dang it. I'll think about it. Albert Pike. He says so himself.
Albert Pike, yes,
And that's something
Albert
we saw
Pike.
early on our 5th and 6th degree, with Albert Pike being a lot of things, and mate of a valued Mason, not. That was one of those things where you could be excommunicated, and that was definitely something that I did some study on for one of my catechisms. But again,
Yeah.
I mean, whether he was a
Aleister
sleepless
Crowley was a Mason. Who was that other guy?
George Washington was a Mason. I mean, most of your
Yeah.
presidents were Masons. I mean,
And he
we
was
can
a
go back
traitor.
in history on a lot of people. A lot of people were
You
Masons,
can't
but again,
look. You can't say that all Masons are bad, Jeff. They're not.
I'm
Inside of
sorry.
any inside of
I'm
any
sorry.
organization, there is good and bad.
Amen. I sit with a racist. I sit with. He's got a KKK closet underneath his stairs at home. I've got some
But
guys that are just shitting people within the lodge.
but
Okay,
the
I gotta get going,
but
so I'll
yeah.
see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Susan. But it's a shame the people in power are Luciferians, and most of them come from Masonry.
I can't speak to that, and I mean,
I
I
know.
get what you're saying to me, but I mean, I can't speak to
I
that
do
on what
believe
they
there
believe or what
are.
they don't.
I do believe there are two sides to the Masons, and the ones in to me the top
There's
of the
one in circle.
capstone, the top of
Mm-hmm.
the capstone of the pyramid is the Masons, and here's why. To get into any other secret society, you just have to be a Master Mason, a 3rd degree Mason. Master Mason is your top level. Okay.
Correct. But
Now,
that's only the 3rd degree, sir. That's only the 3rd degree. To become a Master Mason is only the 3rd degree.
yes, but that is the top level. Everything after that is based on study, semi-honorary.
Catechisms, yes.
Yes.
Catechisms, yes.
Now, you cannot, no matter what you say, make me believe that the Masonic organization is all bad or all good, because you cannot make me believe that every single world leader Stalin killed all those people, and he was a Mason. And what did he do? He was a Scottish Rite Mason, if I'm not mistaken.
You're not.
But for the amount of evidence that's out there, the ones that can't see the truth, it's almost inexcusable.
Not necessarily. Again, you've got good and bad and everything, just like you do in government.
I can only contest to what I've been through, but I will tell you there is a inner circle, and that's where you get into your GM of each state, each country, and so on. That they do have their own little private meetings. What they discuss is that. I couldn't tell. The only thing I can tell you is that the brotherhood and all that comes from being a Mason and the tools that it put in my toolbox were plenty. But again, there are some shitty people that I sit with in my own lodge, let alone in others as well. So yes, I'm sure there are a ton of bad people who do things the wrong way and do bad things to good people. But again, you could say that about, I mean, any Shriner, which yes, you have to be a Mason to be a Shriner, or any other fraternity, so to speak. I mean, you're only as good as the people that are in it. And unfortunately, there's probably been a lot of bad things.
Yeah. I mean,
But again, don't believe
there are
everything you see on TV.
no, you can't. I mean, you've got good people in that go into things for the right reason, and they never leave that. But you've also got what is natural. The natural order of things is for people that are willing to do what it takes to rise to the top. I mean, when Jesus
JFK tried to
tempted,
warn us.
yep, when he did, and when Jesus was tempted and Satan said, "Bow down and worship me, and I will give you all of this," there's one thing Jesus didn't say. He didn't say Satan couldn't do that. And guess what? Lucifer, some people actually accepted that promise. And guess where they're at? They are in power around this world. Because Satan, according to Jesus, is the God of this world.
Yes, I read on that a while back. I agree with you. You're correct. Gave him to be the yes, and a lot of people have accepted that. But again, you got to look at it from the big picture.
They believe Lucifer is the true God, those in power, and they
As do the
believe,
Catholic religion.
and they do believe they are going to win this war. But they tell the people, don't study the Bible, don't talk about the Bible, don't discuss religion. Why? Because they don't want you knowing who you are, where your rights come from, and how to apply the principles that they live by. This is why the Masons have their own court system. They don't bring another brother into the public court for the profane.
Oh no. We get excommunicated and we have to sit on trial. Yeah.
I've been told, Shane, for someone that's not a Mason, I know more than I should.
It sounds like somebody's told you a bunch, but I mean, yes, there are. Yeah, I will tell you, I had to go to trial over non-payment of dues for mine, over $150 for 2 years, and I will tell you, it was the biggest bunch of bullshit I'd ever seen, and the way that it was set up, I could imagine if we actually got caught beating our wife or something serious, but it brought a black mark, so to speak, a stain on the Masons for me not paying my dues.
Yeah.
But I have since omitted all those years and all that money. I have since omitted. I can't get rid of the tattoos, but and then once you're a Mason, you're supposed to always be a Mason. But I'll tell you, as soon as I omitted, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that turned their back on me.
I just don't like secrecy in general.
No, the Bible does teach against secrecy. It said you should not do things in the dark. You should do things in the light.
There is another thing with that too. Like, I don't know. It, I, I don't know. I'll reserve some things, but I mean, if you ask the right questions, I'll answer them.
Me personally, and this is where I don't agree with the system had the ability to keep this country great. But they chose to deliberately dumb down the masses and destroy this country. And that's why I don't agree with it.
I wanted to ask you a question earlier, and it just seemed like I couldn't get in with Susan. And first off, let me say to Jeff, my apologies for you to have to call me out on interrupting. I did not hear you. Of course, all I heard was Susan, and my apologies. It's just hard. It was hard to get in.
I know she was like talking over everybody.
And I apologize if the reason you said that was me. I did not mean, that's not what was my intent. It was just so hard to get in there. But with that being said, I just real quick on the trust, and me just starting on trust 2 days ago, is it safe to say when you're doing this and you're putting everything in and you're trying to do this harmless thing, does the trust itself, is it responsible for the money that it takes in as far as taxes to the government?
Yeah.
So, because that's one thing I didn't understand.
But depends on how the trust is managed to if a tax is owed. In the tax code, one of the codes actually is that if the income, the profits of the trust are considered at the end of the year part of the corpus of the trust to reinvest into the trust, there's no taxes. There's only a tax if there's a distribution. So you got Amazon, for example. What does Amazon do? Amazon, the trust, buys all the property. At the end of the year, when they figure out the profits made, they go buy more property. Well, that's an expense for the trust, so there's no tax. Well, what do they turn around and do? They lease the property to the licensed business. So it's how you legally shuffle the money to the trust and avoid the tax.
I'm not sure if you caught my first couple pictures that I posted about how the IRS's own manual says that you can't trust anything that you read in their publications, in their own publications, and in their own words. How could that possibly? And like you said, Pastor, like some things they care to recognize, and some things they don't care to recognize, like 27 CFR 72.11. So, like, how could this not be frustrating to a point of just wanting to start the second revolution already?
I wish we would do that, but I guess what kind of came into my mind when we were talking about this earlier. You own a trucking company, or your dad owns an installation company. So with that in mind, and being that trust makes money, and then it distributes out to him. So at the point of trying to play that, so again, it's just all on how you set that up and how that distribution of monies goes. Is it whether anything is owed to anybody? I mean, you would take that money into the trust. It would be written to the trust, not so much to the person. I guess there's a lot there too. So, I mean, again, that's more than what I was trying to get, but it just seemed like it was everything points to having to do with trust.
Well, Samson was the hand of God's vengeance back in the day.
Well, the first trust was created by God, so. And man was the trustees that was given the power to have dominion over the earth, and they failed to do their fiduciary duty. I mean, God was the grantor. The beneficiary was Jesus Christ.
Oh man, it is 7:43. I have not prepared for my live at 8 o'clock, so I really do need to jump off, guys. I appreciate everything. Just out of curiosity, how long did y'all talk last night? Because I think I woke up at 4 and I still heard you in there.
No, well, I don't think it was 4. I think it was closer to, well, maybe it was.
No, it was close to 4. And at
I'm in the Central
4:40,
time zone.
it was close to 4. And at 4:40 this morning, you were still in there, Shane, because I had checked to see if Pastor had gone to bed yet, like a good little boy.
Yeah, I woke up with being the only one in there. That
Now,
was
by
me.
the way, Shane, that's my wife. You can say
okay.
hi.
Yeah, I want to say hello, and I am so sorry for our first interaction a few years ago. I
It's
was
okay.
reminded of that the other day, and I don't remember, but I do believe that I owed you an apology. So I do want to start off by saying I am very sorry for my actions and responses back in the day.
Well, thanks for the
Hey.
apology. I was just kind of thrown in head first with not having a clue. So like my first month, I was nervous to talk to anybody and didn't know if I was talking to him the right way or the wrong way, because I literally had it dropped in my lap.
Well, you did nothing wrong. I was more flustered over the other lady who misrepresented and would not fix the problem. So I apologize.
Oh, no
It ended
problem.
up being her uncle or something, and not even pastor's dad. So it was very frustrating getting down to what it actually happened. So I just apologize. I definitely must have been in a mood that day.
No problem.
It
Thank
happens
you.
to the best of us.
I'm in a mood every day. Just kidding.
Well,
Every
I just
28
want to know
days.
what Pastor said to you to allow him to do the research he's doing, because my wife is so pissed at me. She said I spend too much time on this, and I think it's mainly because she doesn't understand. And when I try to explain it to her, I sound like an idiot.
Well, like I had said earlier, it caused a lot of arguments between me and him because I don't understand it either. Sometimes I try to help. Sometimes I want absolutely nothing to do with it. And because sometimes I feel like he spends more time with this than family-wise, it does get frustrating. So I can also understand why your wife would be upset.
Too many hours,
But,
and then the TikTok doesn't help either. So.
yeah, but from a male standpoint, we kind of take it so serious because we see it as our duty to protect our family.
Look, if I could figure out how that this could benefit us in the fact of with our nephew that we're fostering or trying to do, or if I could figure out how to do some discharging, it's all worth it to me. But ultimately, I can't explain to her what I'm learning because I don't understand half of it yet.
Just take it easy, Shane. Because I've already been suffering